Hi everybody and welcome to Wendy's Witness. Have you ever gotten into a dispute? Did you have words with a cashier or another customer? What about a spouse? Well, we've probably all been there. Behind closed doors or in public, it's usually not pretty. Conflict is part of life, unfortunately. We've all experienced the flood of emotions. Anger, embarrassment, hurt, whatever our response is usually spontaneous and unfiltered. Most of us don't just go looking for a fight. That's why it's such a shock to the system. However, you've got to understand this physical world is not all there is. There's a spiritual world just as real, where the fight for most is just as unexpected. Well, keep watching today because you need to know about how to prepare for the fight, why we fight, how to fight, and not just talking about your spouse or any other person, but the devil, who is our real enemy. Get ready to fight. Remember last week when I said, how do we transition from worrier to warrior? Well, first of all, take heed and realize you are actually in a fight. We need a new mindset. Where are the people who are willing to lay down their lives as Christ calls us to do, to go to war, to get out of their cushy, comfy lifestyle and carry out their commitment? You're either on God's side or Satan's side. There's no safe middle ground. Well, people don't like to hear that. Newsflash, people don't like to hear the truth. They want to be coddled and affirmed no matter what they do. But God is clear. His expectations and instructions don't waver or change because something becomes a hot topic. We are to love and speak truth in love. Of course, when you do that, you get a target on your back. This is where knowledge, understanding, and wisdom come in. Do your due diligence. Prepare. Ask the Holy Spirit to teach you. He will. Learn about your authority. The devil is bound by legal limitations. God is the supreme authority. Is there a reason to stay the course, to stand firm and tough it out? Why do we fight? 1 Peter 5:4 says, "And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the unfading crown of glory." When we decide to follow Jesus, our life is bought with His blood and is no longer our own. We are used for God's purposes, and our duty as His servant is to allow Him to do so. Submission and surrender is required. Those are scary words to some people because they want to be in control. But we're told plainly in Matthew 16:24-27. Then Jesus said to His disciples, "If anyone wants to follow after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life because of me will find it. For what will it benefit someone if he gains the whole world yet loses his life? Or what will anyone give in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man is going to come with His angels in the glory of His Father, and then He will reward each according to what he has done." We're actively storing up those rewards as we endure to the end. Now, how do we fight? First and foremost, we stay close to Jesus. We're attached to Him, so we learn the sound of His voice so that we can recognize the lies of the enemy when he speaks. Have you ever decided ahead of time, I'm not going to let so-and-so get to me. I'm not stooping to their level. Only to find that determination flew out the window when the insults and personal attacks started coming. This, my friend, means you conceded ground or territory to the enemy. What about letting your mind run away with you? You allow one thought with no grounds of reality to become another and another until you worked up a whole scenario based on unwarranted assumptions. Well, guess who planted that first thought? Did you stop it? Did you take it captive? No. You let it lead to another and another, spiraling out of control. Now you're on the losing side of a battle that's taking place in your head. God gives us weapons to fight with. 2 Corinthians 10, 3-5 says, "For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." Now, that's not all. God gives us His armor we can put on every day to protect us as well. Remember those unexpected conflicts that tend to arise? Well, guess what? If you put on your gospel sandals, shoes of peace, you will have a whole new response to those flaming arrows that fly your way. Because first of all, they'll be extinguished by your shield of faith. Then you'll respond in peace instead of reacting in anger and frustration, knowing the truth, which sets you free because you are wearing that belt of truth. Friend, God has equipped us for this battle and told us how we fight and who we fight. This is because He doesn't want us to be ignorant to what is taking place all around us. So, get up, get dressed. You've got marching orders. Jesus said in John 8:44 that Satan is a murderer and liar from the beginning. He absolutely hates us. He's not walking around with a pitchfork and a red tail though. He's sneaky and smooth talking. We have to be aware and acknowledge the spiritual warfare when we encounter it. We are fighting the good fight. However, I have good news for you today. We have a place to run for refuge and reprieve from the battle. It's into the arms of Jesus. He can relate to your temptation. He can relate to the evil and facing that. He knows because He's been there. This is our high priest, our friend, the one who suffered and yet did not sin, came through it and out the other side. Hebrews 2:14-15 says, "Now since the children have flesh and blood in common, Jesus also shared in these, so that through His death He might destroy the one holding the power of death, that is, the devil, and free those who were held in slavery all their lives by the fear of death." So, we are set free. Don't let yourself be burned again by the yoke of slavery. Galatians 5:1. At times, the struggle is real, and the forces that we face are real. But we are not defenseless when we know and stand on the truth. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. I'll see you next week. And remember, we are all witnesses.